Hey, it's John Shapiro, here we go. Knows the road rules better than most folks know. Ask your questions, bring the heat or keep it chill. He's got the answers and a license to spill. Ask a traffic cop, Sean's your guy. Breaking it down, no lie, no tie. Knows the stuff and things to keep you clear. Ask away, he's the voice you want to hear. Badge, now a podcast star, navigating traffic laws near and far. Stop sign confusions or a signal light feud. Sean's the one to give you the right attitude. Yeah, ask your traffic cop, Sean's your guy. Breaking it down, no lie, no tie. Knows the stuff and things to keep you clear. Ask away, he's the voice you want to hear. From this man. Ask a traffic cop, Sean's your guy. Breaking it down, no lie, no tie. Knows the stuff and things to keep you clear.
Oh, yeah. I love that song. It doesn't get old for me. I don't listen to it nearly as often as I thought I would. Like, all the time. No, it's not on loop all day in my office. Would it be weird if it was? No, I don't do that. I only listen to it when I'm doing the shows, and I do the shows now once a week, so I'm hearing it less often than I'd like, but I do really enjoy it. That was created using Suno. That's that AI song generator. Lyrics created... I think I created them offline and then brought them in. Either way, it's really cool and I like it. And if you want to play with songs, they have a free version of the account. You can log in. They don't sponsor the show, but they are friends to the show. I spoke to them. They love what we do. And I thank them for what they allow me to do. Playing with music. Yes, we had a song about, it was actually, is it a song? No, I think I'm referring to a story. The first time I used ChatGPT and created a story for my kids about a dragon that steals farts. Yeah. Using AI for good is important. Kayla Draconis comes in and says, greetings and salutations. Good morning. Kayla, hope you're doing well. Brandon, who is in Florida, says, good morning, Sean and all from Disney Springs, doing a cooking demo alongside Guy Fieri. Hope you all have a fantastic day. I think that's awesome. And send me pictures. I want to live vicariously through your Disney adventures. Brandon is a friend of the show, has been a chef forever, and is off doing a lot of stuff in Florida, which is exciting. Florida is like one of my favorite places on the planet. The Real Walker Texas Ranger says, I was just getting into it when you cut it off. So thanks. He's talking about getting into the song. I think I got that available to listen to on your own. I think it's on trafficcop.ca. I think I've got a link to it. If not, I really need to. Amanda and Boy Mom, Melody, Northern Bear. Well, good morning to you. You guys are in on the platform. Let's see what's going on here. Just going to log in so I can moderate with my other device. There we go. What's going on? A lot of you I saw last night. I was live streaming for an hour and a half, hour 40 minutes, starting at 9 p.m. last night for After Dark, and that was awesome. I really do enjoy the evening episodes, and it makes me want to, always do evening episodes, but there are people who would prefer it during the day. So for that, I am available, when people are. Now, I don't, this summertime is difficult because I got kids doing all sorts of programs and meetings all over the place and content creation opportunities all over the place. So I've restricted myself down to only going live twice a week Tuesday nights at 9 p.m., Wednesdays at 10 a.m. And I almost slept through this morning, which is a thing. I'm going to be having a very late night tonight. So for that, I decided to turn off the alarms. And then I didn't wake up as I thought I would. I thought it would be automagical. Yes, it was not. And someone woke me up and said, you should wake up. I did. All right, if you got questions about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff, my name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a former police officer who talks about it, and I want to help you be safer. I want to help you avoid those pesky tickets, getting caught doing stuff you should never be doing in the first place, but maybe you didn't know you weren't supposed to do. And if that's the case, I really want to help you. If you are someone who knows what you're supposed to do and not supposed to do, but chooses to do it anyway, that's on you. Nobody's at fault but the driver when someone's breaking the laws actively and then gets caught. No sympathy. No sympathy. We talked about some Florida changes, the super speeder law. That was cool. We talked about that because I think Brandon brought it up last night. They now have a law that says if you are speeding, you can get a $500 fine and straight to jail. Yes, they can take you to jail. They arrest you. Different than the stunt driving charges, but definitely something I'm interested in learning more about. Northern Bear 67 says, well, got rear-ended by a police officer the other day. That was a new experience. No kidding. It does happen. I'd love to know more about that. How did that happen? Were they just not paying attention? Because people are people, and some of them wear badges, and they don't pay attention. Others are focused doing things like enforcement and running activities. We talk about the fact that police can use their computers while driving, and they do that in order to keep the community safe. And occasionally things go wrong and they don't do the right thing. It is still better not to be using it, even though they are legally permitted to. It is sometimes still better not to be using it. So I'd love to know more about what you experienced. I hope you're okay. I hope you weren't injured. I see. I think you've typed. No, you have not typed in something below there, but we will see if you've got a continuation to that story. I love these stories. And in fact, if you want to tell the whole story, go to askatrafficcop.ca. You can go to the website, and on the website, you can leave me voicemail, and I can show you all what that looks like in just a second. Here we go. We'll share the screen, and Ask a Traffic Cop is what I'm sharing, and here we go. I have to lean over here because the circle has off center. I can fix it. There we go. This is askatrafficcop.ca. If you go there, you can find links to the most recent episodes. You can get links to other stuff and things like what you can buy. Why did I come here? To send voicemail. I think I did the same thing. If you click the button on the side, you can hit the send voicemail. You will send me voicemail, and I can actually play that on the show. Can't do it live because I got to go review it and make sure nobody's saying anything they're not supposed to say, but it is a different way of connecting. And while I'm here, actually, I'll just prep it for later, but we'll come back and talk about recruiting because so many people want to be police officers. It's an amazing. Not everybody wants to, but obviously there are enough. Wrong button. There's enough people who want to be police officers, but don't know what they need to do. And we'll talk about that if y'all are interested in learning about. Actually, even if you're not interested, I want to know what's currently available because there are civilian positions and policing positions. The policing positions, they post all the time. They're always looking for applicants. And that isn't always the case. Sometimes, like back when I started, they were freezing the hiring of police officers. You couldn't join the job, even if you wanted to. Okay. I got the careers page all loaded up for later. Just a moment. I want to talk about, traffic jam. I'm almost finished podcast episode, editing the next episode. That's the traffic jam. Why are these logos not showing up? Diamond and Diamond Lawyers, they're sponsors of the show. Want to give them a shout out. They're amazing people who will help you when you need representation for personal injury, but they help us in sharing good information. I obviously go onto their podcast all the time and talk about stuff and things. If you go to their social media, you'll see my pretty face on there, and we talk about stuff. But also, they help fund the show. Why? Because there's expenses here. It costs money to put the lights on, literally, to have the software, which is thousands of dollars a year, to be able to stream and be here and show up for you. Me is me just helping out, but there's stuff, there's expenses, and it's stuff the police used to support, and they support the education, but they used to financially support the show because I was working for them. But now that I'm not, Diamond and Diamond, Barrett Legal, and other sponsors who don't always need to be named, but they're here, and I thank you. If you want to sponsor the show personally, you can go to the website, askatrafficcop.ca or bettertraffic.ca, same ultimate result. It's a not-for-profit organization all about educating people about traffic safety. Okay. Gwyn Johnston says, good morning from Brockville. What's going on? I thought it was Brock Vegas. We got, let's see here. We got Michaela who says, humpers. Not sure how to take that comment. Michaela says, my wife was telling me yesterday that in Sweden, they call speed bumps fart thumpers or fart humpers. Either way, that is weird. But I've learned something that I can never unlearn. Moving along. What do we got here? We got exposing, not reposting. Okay. Let me go back. Okay, I thought that was the original comment. The Real Walker, Texas Ranger says, when are the laws surrounding exposing bad drivers encounters on social, or what are the laws? I'm not aware of anything that prohibits in Canada or specifically Ontario, but I believe that would extend to all of Canada for this particular situation. Posting videos about what you see online. I mean, if you have dash cam footage where is it? There are places in the world where it's illegal to post without authorization, or maybe just post anywhere. Footage of other people driving. Okay. Let's see here. I'm gonna search this to post video from dash cam of bad drivers. I know it exists. I know I was looking into this at one point, which would be a shame if we ever got so insane that we would prohibit people from posting videos. So in Canada, generally legal with caveats, privacy laws under the Personal Information Protection Act, blah, blah, blah. What? Oh, it says that if you're sharing it for commercial purposes to sell something, when it includes someone's license plate, it could be an issue. If you're a private citizen posting publicly for awareness, you're usually not violating any criminal law. Quebec has different policies for posting identifiable faces or plates without consent, and it could be problematic. Interesting. I don't understand how you could be criticized in Canada for sharing information about bonehead drivers doing bonehead stuff, but maybe it's, I don't know. Anyway, for the purposes of non-commercial, you're not making money at it. You're sharing it for the purposes of education or, education, then you're okay in Canada. Quebec possibly may be different. United States, according to the GBT of chat, says largely legal in most states with exceptions. The First Amendment protects recording and posting in public areas. You cannot record audio in states without two-party consent. This has nothing to do with what we're talking about. And defamation, harassment, or doxing claims may be brought depending on the content. The UK, it's legal, but Germany, tightly regulated. Dashcam footage can be used in court, but posting it publicly may violate data protection laws. And I'm not going to try and pronounce that very long multi-letter word. Maybe I should. But I'm going to try here. It's Bundesstaat. No, I can't do that. Okay, faces and license plates must be blurred. France, Austria, Luxembourg, I've been to those places, heavily restricted or banned to share that information. These countries often prohibit and strongly regulate dashcam use, citing privacy and data protection. That's silly. Interesting, but ChatGPT suggests that you blur faces and plates when in doubt and avoid posting the audio recorded without consent. Well, I don't post the audio because it's usually me swearing. Really? No, I lose my mind when I watch some of these people, like the one from yesterday, which I can share with you yet because I don't know if you were here yesterday. Let me add a scene where I can add some media and video. Here we go. This is the video I shared on last night's show. We'll share it again here because y'all may have missed it. This is my dashcam footage from 2 days ago. It is featuring that driver who made a U-turn from the curb lane, lane 2, across lane 1, across the center lane, across the oncoming lane 1, and ended up in lane 2, the curb lane on the opposing side. This person does not deserve to drive on our roads. This person is a menace, a lazy menace who couldn't crank the wheel faster, couldn't use a side street or driveway to do that safely. That person is just lazy. And Luckily, the person who was inappropriately using the center lane, and they were inappropriately using that center lane, they were. I give them kudos because while they weren't doing it right by way of driving down the center lane because they were too lazy to make a lane change to change back into the center lane to make a left turn, they just wanted to ride the center. It's improper use of a center lane. It's actually a charge. Well, they did it wrong, but they still didn't hit the bonehead making a U-turn. Yeah, okay, I could watch this all day. Maybe you cannot, but that's where we differ. All right, what do we have here? We have okay, Henda. Let's see what Henda Barbershop has to say. Or wait, let me scroll back here a little bit more. Oh, the Subinator says, "Hey Sean, wife found a dog. Can you repost my video and hopefully find the owner?" Let's see. I'd happily help find a floofy dog that needs assistance being located, and I will do that by way of the Subinator. I'm silent because I'm typing. The Subinator. I see that this is this the one? Hamilton. Okay, I reposted it. There we go. Hopefully, my followers can help you find the owner of that dog because I can only imagine how difficult it must be for them missing their buddy, their friend, their pal. Okay. Henda Barbershop says you should come over for a beard trim and head shave. Where are you, Henda Barbershop? I've been trying to manage this I don't know what I call this. Oh, it's a beard, but I mean I was going to call it a reverse mane because the mane is anyway. You know what a mane is. But yeah, shoot me a DM. Maybe I can come visit you. Melody says, what does Melody say? Melody says today's project is timing change on a timing chains on a 2.4 Ecotech. I can only imagine what a Ecotech or what I imagine is a turbo vehicle. How much fun that might be. I'm not a mechanic and I don't pretend to be one on TV. I have a limited understanding of the insides of an engine, and I mean that because I understand more than the average bear, but I do not know everything there is. And I would not open one up and try and put it back together again without an assistant or instructor next to me because, hey, I would break it. That's what would happen. If you want to know stuff and things about, well, police, traffic safety, stuff and things about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff. That's the order that I have to say it in before it flows nicely. You should be asking questions right here while we're here. We're here until 11 o'clock or a couple minutes after. And then we are gone until Tuesday evening, 9 p.m., when I'll be back again to do this for Ask a Traffic Cop After Dark. And people last week were like, how can you call yourself a traffic cop? You're a retired guy. You're no longer a police officer. You're misrepresenting. Well, first of all, it says former police officer under my name. So I'm not claiming to be an active duty police officer. However, I did wear the uniform. I was a police officer. I still have a certificate that says I'm qualified to be one. I'm just not employed as one. So I'm doing this because I want to help people. And it's not like the show's called Ask a Traffic Cop, even though I'm no longer an active duty police officer. Yeah. I don't say ask a police officer. That would be weird. All right. Let's hear. Henda Barbershop says, I'm assuming it says will, even though they said well. Will police get notified if they stop someone who got deported to arrest them? So if someone has outstanding warrants, if someone has an overstay, if there's something associated with that name hit, then yes, they can be absolutely notified that there's somebody there. And then if we are investigating someone and there's some hints through investigative purposes or through investigative processes that there's something wrong, we can't identify them, or again, there's a flag that comes up, they will likely call the CBSA. And I've called it many times the CBSA in relation to people or persons I was investigating because there were clues, like someone who had a 2012 New York City or New York State license plate on their vehicle. This sticker was 2012. It was not validated. Everything on their ID had expired because they were living illegally in Canada. It was 2014. It was 2012. They were 2-year overstay. I called. CBSA said, yes, please take them into custody and we will come over and pick them up. And they were deported. They were taken from my custody, taken to a deportation center, and removed from the country. That's what happened. They came back legally a few years later to deal with their legal issues. They had someone represent them while they were away. It was messy. It was messy. But you know what? Someone who's not legally permitted to be in the country, who has been deported or should be deported, well, they should be deported. They shouldn't be allowed to stay here illegally. Okay. User lots of numbers responds to Henda Barbershop. They said you won't be able to register your car if you're not supposed to be in Canada. People have friends, people have acquaintances, people have vehicles that are not registered. So just answer that. I see. Henda says, "What if you got deported after you registered your car?" All these things are possible if you, but I don't know that particular situation. This one, which I'm referencing, specifically dealt with an out of state car or out of country car. Um, oh, Northern Bear says the other. Okay. So going back to changing channels now, the story about the police officer who ran into Northern Bear said another officer showed up and sure was giving him a ribbing about it. I bet he was. Okay. How can we as car enthusiasts, and then it scrolled up and automatically there we go. How can we as car enthusiasts have events where cops won't harass us? It really depends on what kind of events you're talking about. First of all, if you have an event that is permitted, in other words, it's an organized event and you have a permit to be there, then that won't fall into a category where you deserve harassment. And it's not harassment. If someone's enforcing the laws because you have a number of vehicles that are breaking the laws, you're just being enforced. So I know that's perspective. It's really just perspective. If you have a vehicle that drives to an event that is illegal for the road, you can't complain about harassment. You are a violator of the law, and then it's just enforcement, not harassment. There's no exemption. Like it depends on what you're talking about. If you have I have a buddy who drives a Viper, he goes to the Viper Club. If you go, that sounds like a movie thing, the Viper Club. But they have Dodge Vipers. They hang out in the parking lot. They go for coffee. They don't, do burnouts. They don't do stupid stuff. They have a car that is amazing, that other people love and enjoy, and they have coffee and talk about the car. But the cars are all legal. They're all licensed for the road. They're all safety inspected, and they're not doing dumb stuff. If someone were to, and the biggest problem is that people come to your events. I'm assuming your events. So let's just say car events, and they're up to no good. 90% of the car culture, or maybe 99%, are great. The 1% that comes and spoils it, they spoil it for everybody. And you should give those people a piece of your mind. Phoenix was here. AJ the Awesome is here. Let's see what you got going on here. Quinn says, switching it up. It's normally Brock Vegas, but today's Brockville. Gotcha. AJ the Awesome says, top of the morning, lads, and the appropriate responses, and the rest of the day to you. AJ the Awesome, I had a neighbor who worked for Peel, I think. He wasn't a cop, though. He worked with computers. Still super cool. Wished I asked him more questions. Well, now I have questions. What kind of stuff did he do if he wasn't a police officer? There's lots of opportunities to serve, which is always interesting. I went to an amateur radio event a couple of weeks ago, and I ran into a member of the Toronto Police there. I might see him on Saturday. Who knows? But it's really cool. There's lots of people with different interests and different specialties who work in different areas. It's always great to hear how they contribute to the big machine. And it is a machine. And everybody inside that machine is important, from tech support all the way through. Phoenix, what is this? Oh, okay. He says he was inside the station, though he brought over a small police thing once, lost it. Okay, gotcha. Okay. Phoenix was here, says, hey, sir, I was just popping by to ask when you're planning to finish the G1 driver's manual. Thank you for bringing that up. Myself and a lot found it helpful, but you hadn't finished. Yes. My apologies. I have been distracted. I was thinking about that yesterday. I also, do I have this thing here? Although not directly relevant, is I found my original, I think this is my original copy of the driver's handbook. What version is this? This is from North York Driving Academy, which is where I was. It was part of the young, what year is this one? Do they not have a year? Come on, 1990. Where is it? Anyway, it's old, and I have it because it was mine. Come on. Anyway, I want to do I have to finish the project of first reading the one that is current, but I want to look at the old one to see how many changes have been made. It's interesting to me. But Phoenix was here. I appreciate you stopping by. Thank you for the comment. And it's not a reminder other than because I was already thinking about it, but it is a indicator that people need to see the rest of the book. Now, my question to you, Phoenix was here, is whether or not you are okay with the digital version, because that will allow me to not only get through the rest of the book faster, although it's not me actually reading it, it is the AI reading it. And it also allows me to convert it for different languages and help more people. I want to be able to help as many people as possible. And that would start by actually finishing it. Ah, Brian Max, my buddy, is here and he says, morning. How about a friendly reminder that perhaps the left shoulder on the highway is a bad place to stop your vehicle, whether it's disabled or not? Yes, ideally, the left shoulder is suboptimal. However, if you got to pull over because the vehicle's disabled, it is the closest place that you are sometimes. And emergencies are emergencies. If you have the option, use the right lane, the right shoulder. That's the best place to be. Doesn't mess with traffic. Doesn't create all sorts of issues when you're trying to get back up to speed and bullets are flying by. And I call it bullets in terms of cars, not actually ballistic projectiles. But yeah, it's right. The right one is the best choice, even when you're being pulled over by police. If you have the option, use the right shoulder to pull over for police. If you don't, well, take the direction of the police officer to comply with the law. When you're being pulled over or you see lights and sirens, it's the closest curb or edge of roadway. But Brian's right; it's not optimal. Okay, excuse me. What do I have here? Okay. Eric wants to know if it's actually legal to pass on a double yellow. Heard mixed things. We talk about this way too often. Double yellow line is not it is an indicator that it's a bad idea to pass there, to cross that line. However, it's not against the law in the province of Ontario. There's no ticket for crossing that line. There are, however, consequences if you cause a collision because you cross that line. Because obviously you were warned, and if you do it anyway because you know better and it leads to a collision, expect to be charged. Okay. And Tracy doubles down and says, yes, it's legal unless signs say otherwise. Yeah. But again, it's not about if there's a regulated sign that says you cannot cross the double line, then absolutely Tracy is right. You can't cross the line. However, if you are doing it like if you pass where there's a double line or not, it doesn't matter. If there's a curve in the roadway and you can't see the other side, you're making a boo-boo. If you're going up a hill and you can't see what's coming on the other end, you end up in oncoming traffic. That double line is there to tell you that there's no visibility. So you're ignoring the good advice of the line, even though the charge wouldn't be. It would be like careless driving, driving while not making good decisions, that sort of thing. Shy Shade 3 says, would there be a reason for police to withhold a police report of a car accident? Withhold? What you mean? So the police don't give you a police report. They give you a involved parties information sheet. If you want the police report, you need to order it. You have to pay for it. It's depending on the type of the collision. It could be $70 to $300 because there's different levels of report. If it's a serious one, then they would charge more for it. If it's a minor one, I think, and at least for the police service in Toronto, I think it's $70. You can go online to the tps.ca. I don't know which page it is. Anyway, go to tps.ca and they will tell you how much it is to purchase it. But if that's not withholding, that's charging you money for the service of giving you the document. The only thing they have to give you is your contact information if you're an involved party, the list of other parties, including drivers and witnesses, and passengers of the vehicle. So that stuff they give you, and they usually give it to you at the collision scene with a report number, so you can actually order the report. Now, here's the deal, and why the dollar number doesn't really matter. You don't need that report. Your insurance company needs it, and if they're telling you to go get it, they're trying to avoid paying that money out of their pocket, which they normally do, and they might be trying to screw you over. So don't get screwed. Give them the report number. Let them order their own bloody report. They're the ones who want it anyway. Cy Ram says, We need to defund TPS by 75%. City is going broke paying useless cops. Cy Ram is a silly bugger, isn't he? Or they? I don't know if they're what they go by, but we don't have enough police officers now. They want to reduce TPS by 75%. It would be utter mayhem. Utter mayhem. Yeah, no. They're wrong. And I appreciate that they are, trolls and they're trying to get a rise. I listen, you're entitled to your belief. You're entitled to have that opinion. You're absolutely incorrect and uneducated when it comes to the magic that is police and how important they are to keeping the city from falling apart. But that's okay. You bias. You probably went to a college that filled your head full of nonsense. Or if you went to college. But what I'm trying to get at is you're wrong. We need more police, not less. We need good people who want to help people because that's what police do. Last night, someone came on and said, police are tyrants. And just like Cy Ram, they're wrong. They're people who want to help other people. And I thank the police and the military and all the fine folks, the paramedics, the fire service folks that keep the city together. When you put a lot of people in a small space, bad things happen. And when there's no consequence to all of things, just traffic police alone keep the city moving. Yeah. If you remember, well, I'm not going to get into it, but there's some examples of where police weren't allowed to go and what actually happens when you take police away. Not good. So when people make these things, these statements, it's quite funny, but it's good because they identify themselves as people who don't need to be part of the conversation. Okay, Melanie says 2.4 Ecotech is not turbo. Oh, this is a 2012 GMC Terrain. Why did I think Ecotech automatically meant it wasn't naturally aspirated? Obviously, I'm not a mechanic. I want to know more. I thought all these Eco Boost. Maybe it's Eco Boost, not Ecotech. Sambo made a comment. I don't know what they're talking about. What is? Let's see here. Hayam Azizi says, I don't have driver's license because I'm almost blind. Can I move the car in the parking lot? So technically speaking, you don't need a driver's license to drive a vehicle on private property. You can still be charged for certain things, but and you can be charged for careless driving. Could it be alleged that you are driving carelessly if you don't have the ability to see and you are operating a motor vehicle? I can make that potential connection. I wouldn't suggest doing it. I mean, I don't know what almost blind is. Does that mean, or you said you're blind? Does that mean you're fully 100% zero vision, or do you have some? Because blindness is a scale, right? Not everybody is 100%. Anyway, I would suggest against it. Melody says, easy job, one of the favorites to do. Oh, the Ecotech. Okay, gotcha. The timing belts are easy. Melody makes it easy. When you look at the videos on her channel where she's beating the crap out of cars with sledgehammers and she makes it look easy. My back hurts watching, but anyway. What do we got here? BW. I like that. Plate is peeling. Can I be ticketed? Do people with dark plate covers get ticketed? So one, yes, a peeling plate is defective. If it's within 5 years, get it replaced under warranty. If it's a B series plate, even if it's over the 5 years, they'll likely change it for you at no cost. It is your responsibility to make sure that you have a legible plate that can be read at a distance. If it's peeling, you can get a ticket. It is $110. Replacing it, if you have to pay out of pocket, is $52, I believe. You're still better off doing that than the other. If you peel it all the way off manually, if you screw with the plate, you can get more expensive tickets for modifying your plate. If you have dark plate covers, if you have clear plate covers, if you have borders that cover or obscure anything on that plate, you can be ticketed for that, and that's a $110 ticket. So if you can't read it, it's $110. If you mess with it, it's $110. Could be arrestable. If you have a cover on it, it's $110, and that could be every block that you drive with that. Now, granted, police aren't going to pull you over every block for still driving with that plate. You get it once, you probably won't get it again that day. But if you continue the use as you continue to violate, you may in fact get more charges for the same thing. So get it fixed. That would be my suggestion. And Tracy says, I got pulled over for having a clear cover. All covers and frames are illegal. You're absolutely right. And they are getting more strict when it comes to enforcing the law. The law was always there, but they're getting more. The reason being was the automatic plate readers and enforcement cameras. People are trying to not get caught, and they have all sorts of devices, plastic films and covers that try and reduce the ability for cameras to capture that information from your license plate, and that's why the enforcement of that is likely on the rise because people are doing naughty things, and that's no good. My name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a former police officer who talks about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff, and I want to help you. If you've got questions, I've got answers, and usually they're right. And if they're not something I know about, I tell you. I'm not going to tell you a load of crap and try and sell you that I know everything. I don't know everything. I know most things. I know many things. Some things I don't know, like how to change the timing belt on a 2.4 liter Ecotec. That's a Melody department. Let's see here. Just want to shout out to Diamond and Diamond Lawyers. They're one of our sponsors, along with Barrett Tax Law. They are people who care about traffic safety. They want to keep you safe and informed on the road so that you have fewer problems. But if you need somebody because you have a personal injury situation where you get hurt as a result of a traffic collision or really anything, call Diamond and Diamond. Let them talk to you. Maybe they can help you out. They work at the largest personal injury law firm in Canada. Boom. Not a paid advertisement. I'm giving them a shout out, but they are who they are. And I've known them for a very long time. I like them. Some people said, how can you deal with a big company like that? I'm like, they're a big company. They help people. Simple. Bomar followed the host. Thanks for the follow. Why are car lights too bright? Well, there's lots of reasons. Some of them are too bright because they're too bright and there's no bueno. The other side of the thing should be that they could be misdirected, and that's usually the problem. Yeah. They very often are misdirected in that they're pointed up when they should be down, and they blind people, and it's not good. But I acknowledge that some of the new stuff are absolutely too bright and feel too bright. Listen, I used to drive a car that it looked like the headlights were glowing, not projecting. If you compare, current technology LED headlights to, the incandescent bulbs from the 80s, I mean, it was like driving with the lights off. But I don't know, maybe I was younger and it worked. What do we have here? We have a little look over here. Lots of people popping in by Instagram. Thank you. Oh, okay. AJ the Awesome. Oh, scrolling back. I saw some stuff. Okay, here we go. Oh, okay, so AJ the Awesome's buddy is an IT or something. AJ the Awesome responded to Brian's comment about left shoulders, and he says, "Oh my God, the left shoulder is horrible. Had a tire blowout once, right side tire, and I had to change it on the highway. So nerve wracking. I can only imagine." This is where I got to tell you, hiring being a member of a road service company, I got to talk to CAA. They should sponsor this bloody show. But CAA is something that I've been a member of forever. And they will show up and do that, either tow you to place of safety and change the tire or change the tire. You stay in the car with your seatbelt on. That's where you should be. And it's not because I don't know how to change a tire, but it's much better to have somebody throwing shade in the back by parking a vehicle to block. Or and if you are in danger, if I think that you are at risk because your vehicle breaks down in a live lane, call the police. They will come and block the lane until a tow truck can get there to move you to a place of safety. But yeah, CAA, magical people, magical people, love their service. I've been a member for ever. Forever. My grandparents got a bumper sticker because they'd been members for 25 or more years. But at the time, they were recognized with this shiny CAA sticker. Does anybody put those on their cars anymore? Anyway, let's see here. AJ the Awesome continues to say, we once had a major accident out in front of my place. The police scanned the whole scene with a laser thing. It was cool to watch. They showed the scanner scene. They showed us the scanned scene and had all the details. Probably York Region somewhere else. In Toronto, they're not currently, at least I don't think they're using LiDAR scanners in drones, which York Regional Police does use. It's just amazing what technology is going. In Toronto, when I left in 2024, they were still using total stations and manually adding points to a system. Still magical, but not as magical as a drone that just goes whoop and scans everything. Just saying. Phoenix commenting about which way is better when it comes to the the reading of the handheld or not the handheld, the driver's handbook. He says he feels whatever's best for me would likely be helpful for everybody. If this means the digital version, that's fine. Just know you're helping so many people. Yes, this is the reading of the driver's handbook and me trying to get it out as quickly as possible. And it's failed miserably because I've been on summer hours and I've been doing other things. So I need to get back on that project. Thank you again for the reminder. Okay. Motorcycle Experience says, good morning, Sean. Did you enjoy your evening last night after the show? My evening last night after the show turned into a huge think tank discussion. It turned into, it was great. I was working with my wife and we were talking about work. We had some brainstorming ideas for a project that I'm working on. And she was giving me some great ideas and we were just, it was good. We were talking. And in time together, even though sometimes it's discussion about business, it's still time together. So we did have a good time. Okay. Phoenix was here, says that it's the comment from the troll earlier who was saying defund the police. I assume that's what they sound like because they were being whiny. A reduction of policing would literally make it Gotham City, but then we need Batman, and that's just not happening. Or there is a bat. I want to meet not meet Batman, but I want to. There's a guy who's got the Batman car, and I think he's in Brampton, Burlington. Anyway, he goes to hospitals and all in costume. I'd love to meet that person. If anyone knows who that person is, I need to meet them. I want to take pictures in the car that I won't fit into. I'm assuming I won't fit into the Batmobile. Okay. Billy McBeard says, hey, Sean, law says transports can't be in the left lane. 401 is jammed up with it, though. I think that not only the left lane, it's the first two lanes. I looked this up at one point. And I was shocked to find out it was not just the left lane, but the left and so lane 1 and 2 both aren't supposed to have commercial vehicle traffic. But the reality is, you're right; they're everywhere. It requires enforcement. MTO needs to be on it, and OPP. And 401's just a mess. Doesn't matter what lane you're in. But you're right; they should be only where they're allowed. But there are a lot of people who don't follow the law. Need more enforcement. Damien, we'll go with Damien. I'm going to mess up his last name otherwise. If I got an aftermarket exhaust with a muffler and catalytic converter, is it still legal? Depends. It depends if it's legal based on what it does. If it's a muffler that muffles sufficiently, and if it's a catalytic converter that cats. If it's a catalytic converter that is high flow but still within the regulation requirements, it could be illegal. I say could be legal because I'm not a mechanic. I'm not going to tell you that it is or it isn't. But I do know that they exist within a range, and there are ones that fall inside the spec and some that fall outside. So you need to know before you buy and waste money on stuff that may not be legal. North Spectre wants to know if motorcycles can weave between cars on the highway. Weaving is the hint word. Weaving is already suggesting careless behavior, likely stunt in the stunt realm. If you're cutting through traffic at a dangerous thing that we're even having the conversation, it's probably because it's not legal behavior. They're no different than a car. If you can make a legal, lawful, safe lane change between vehicles and then make another legal, lawful, and safe change, lane change between other vehicles where appropriate, that's driving or riding. But if you're weaving, we're looking at careless stunt or criminal dangerous driving. Depends on which speeds we're talking about. Okay. Greg says, I drove an extra kilometer or so and turned around down a side street while being pulled over. Officer thanked me. Greg, that your mileage will vary when it comes to being thanked for driving an extra kilometer. If you don't pull over immediately and safely when the lights and sirens are going, it could be misinterpreted as a pursuit where you're failing to respond. Like if you start slowing down and you're rolling, two things are happening. It's either I'm waiting for you to run, or I think you're drunk. Like there's all sorts of things that are going through my mind when you don't pull over for a kilometer. That's a long, long distance. I would suggest, although the officer thanked you, you had a good experience, I would suggest in future that you pull over when safe to do so in an urgent kind of manner, like not a kilometer away, and then say, could we relocate to a safer place down the street? And then the officer might thank you again. I'm generally not pulling you over, or I'm not pulling you over at all. When I was a police officer, I would pull you over where I determined it was safe to do so. And if I thought I couldn't do it safely, I would have waited till we were somewhere where we could do it safely. If there's no shoulders, I'm not pulling you over. But when I choose to activate my lights, means I've already made the determination that this is happening now. And if you continue to drive, we're going to be calling for additional units. It's going to be a pursuit. So yeah, and additional charges. Like I've laid charges for failing to pull over because they just kept driving. We're not talking about picking and parking. We're pulling over when we're told to. That's but I appreciate, Greg, that it may have worked out well in your situation. What is this? The Honorable May something that I can't read the last name. It's been truncated. What is the difference between a reckless driving and careless driving charge? Reckless is an American charge. We don't have reckless driving in Canada, at least not in Ontario. Careless driving, I don't think, is on the same scale as reckless. Reckless may be more on the dangerous side. Let's ask the knower of all things. Typing and talking doesn't work. I've talked about it before, and the answer I gave you is what I've generally given in the USA. See what they say. I'm always interested what ChatGPT has an answer for. And careless in Ontario. Let's see. Yeah. So it looks like reckless is intent, willful, wanton disregard. So we're talking about whereas operating. So careless driving is driving without due care and attention. That's different than an intent. So I'm going to say reckless driving is more in line with criminal dangerous. There we go. Oh, enter. Why is it not sound? That's thinking. It's thinking. Oh, reckless driving has a $500 to $2,500 fine. Okay, the fines are very similar, reckless to careless. Interesting. Yeah, the American laws are so different than Canada. People think that Canada and the United States are the same. Save and except for health care that you pay for through taxes versus health care that you pay out of pocket, which is still paying for it. They just get better health care. But anyway, the reason I bring that up is the Canadian legal system versus the American legal system, totally different. For instance, red rum is a Canada-wide criminal charge. Red rum, I hope you know what red rum is. When you unalive somebody, it's red rum, right? Generally speaking. And when you use the Canadian law, it's the criminal code is for all of Canada. But red rum is a state charge in the United States, which means it's not federal. If you red rum 3 people or more, you're a serial red rummer, and then it is a federal situation. But the FBI, it's totally different. Totally different. Very interesting, but totally different. All right. What is this? Hopefully, anyway, I hope that answers your questions. Let's move on. RCMP protects. What? I don't know what we're talking about. Let's see here. Can I see? Somebody said silly stuff. But we'll move on. Shane says, "Hey man, I have a traffic question." Well, I have traffic question answers or answers to traffic questions. Let me know what they are. And we've got 123 amp says, "Do you agree that we have corrupt cops?" I think we have corrupt politicians, corrupt lawyers, corrupt doctors, corrupt people. Humans have the ability to be corrupt. Do I think that there are police officers who are corrupt? There are individuals who are corrupt in the police. Do I think that the entire police service is corrupt? No, not at all. That would be ridiculous. And a ridiculous statement to make. Let's see here. Tron says, "Why do cops always say you need to show ID when you haven't broken the law?" Depends on what we're talking about. Are you driving a vehicle in Ontario? And I'm assuming across Canada, if you drive a motor vehicle, you require a driver's license and you need to be able to surrender that upon demand. That is just a simple thing. And if you don't, well, then you're going to have problems. You're going to have problems. There we go. It's much easier to read like this. Stand by. Let's see here. So we have to just do one little thing here on the live stream. And that is reporting people. Occasionally it has to be done. So I like to take screen grabs though. Yeah, when certain people do stupid things, I need to make sure I document it. There we go. Take a picture. All right. Fantastic. And where is this? I'm looking for the one comment. There was somebody making some stupid statements. Traffic question. Gotcha. Oh, there we go. Okay. EcoBoost is for, yes, thank you, Melody. Got that. Andy Talk says, I love the police presence in downtown. So great. Oh, I haven't been downtown in a while, so I can't comment. But I like how Antigua says, everybody wants to defund the police until we need one. Well, yeah, that's usually how it works. What is it? There's no atheists in a snake pit? It's the same thing. That's just a common thing. It's not a comment about atheists in particular. Okay. Enough of that. Let's see here. People are gonna complain their packages are late if we don't let commercial vehicles go faster. Faster than what? The legal speed limit is this posted speed limit. Go faster than what? And people can complain. We don't care. They can plan and buy their stuff at the store themselves. And the discussion of whether or not people can speed to get their packages later, I mean, unless you're just knocking them, at which point, I agree with you. Okay, Billy McBeard, too many don't follow the law. Why do we complaining to, who do we complain to if we want it to stop? MTO, OPP, Batman. You know what? It's not, I mean, you can make complaints about certain trouble areas to the police, but the police can only do what they can do with the resources they have, and they are limited resources. They don't have enough people. So talking to your MP, your counselors, talk to everybody. Be a squeaky wheel. Come on the show and ask questions like that, because I talk about it and people see the show. Okay. I can't pronounce it. Riley? I think it might be Riley. Riley, really? I don't know. Do I have to provide my license and registration to all police officers that ask, even if for no reason? Yeah. If you are pulled over while operating a motor vehicle in the province of Ontario, you must surrender upon demand of a police officer for reasonable inspection, your license, ownership, and insurance. Yes. Every time. If you say no, you're going to get charged. If you refuse to identify, you can get arrested. It's a thing. People don't like it, but it's a thing. It's a condition of being able to drive. There you go. Oh, AJ the Awesome says, fun fact, you don't need to have a driver's license to be a race car driver. Private property, not public roads. I don't know if it was changed. You don't need to have a driver's license for the road necessarily, but you do have to have a racing license, which is likely a higher threshold than that of a driver's license. But you don't have to be 16, which you do have to be on the road, because we saw some youth racing at the Honda Indy, which was awesome. My kids loved meeting kids who race cars. That was very cool for them. It was cool for me too, because I would love my kids to get into racing, not to be professional racers, but to understand the dynamics of a vehicle well in advance of driving on the road. And if they became dominating racers that were just killing it in the circuit, by all means, I'm supportive, because I love that my kids are into cool stuff, which is why I take them to go-kart all the time, because although they are young, driving a car-like device well in advance of becoming a driver just gets them into the understanding of driving. And for someone who, because earlier and last night we had people saying, well, what do you do if you have anxiety about driving? I don't like being around cars. Get into go-karts, race go-karts in a safe, fun environment. Get into a couple of, hairpin turns where you bump into another car and just get used to driving. And then it's not as scary when you're in a real car. At least I don't think so. I was driving go-karts, and off-road bikes and all sorts of wheelie things since a very young age, and I think it really made me a better driver. When Greg was being pulled over, I talked about not finding parking. He slowed down, put his four-ways on, giving a strong communication to the officer that was pulling him over that he was being compliant, and that makes a lot of sense. Every situation is different. It depends on you, and obviously it worked out well, so I'm glad. Okay. What are we talking about? There's some side conversation here. One lane, 80-kilometer-an-hour windy road, so I chose side road. Greg, yeah, makes sense in that situation. It's Riley. It says there has to be a reason and articulable suspicion of cause to be pulled over. No, Riley. In Ontario, if you're driving a motor vehicle, any police officer at any time can pull a driver over to ensure that they are a licensed driver, an insured driver, a sober driver, and that the vehicle is safe. If you're spouting stuff from the United States, articulable cause, articulable suspicion, no, you don't have to make sure that there's a crime before you get identified. You don't have to be driving like a ding dong to get pulled over. Any vehicle, and the courts have supported that. You can be compelled. You can have a demand for a roadside screening test, for a breath test, even if it's random. I just pull you over because I'm going to give you a breath test. Totally legal. It's a violation of your rights, but it's acceptable according to the law. Now, if you're in the United States, those are different laws. We're in Canada, specifically Ontario. Mind you, the whole providing a breath sample is a Canada-wide law because we have laws that are different. So, Riley, you're wrong. If you refuse to, for instance, give a breath sample in Ontario or anywhere in Canada, when a demand is made for you by a police officer on a legal stop, which is for any reason, you would be charged under the criminal code. So, do what you got to do. Lanny says, what's your best memory of being a police officer? I have so many. It's more than I can possibly list. There's no best. There's so many amazing ones. A couple days ago, a friend of mine sent me a picture, which was one of my favorites when I was working on a joint team with OPP and in Toronto in the motor squad, working with the Invictus Games, which I, in that text message response, said, like, my favorite detail. But the reality is, I mean, that's one that's so fond that I have such fond memories of, but there's so many. Jas says, hi, Sean. Hello, Jas. Tracy, okay, dialogue with somebody else. What is this? Boom, boom, boom. Why don't police pull over go buses to make sure all passengers have their seatbelts on? Buses don't require seatbelts. Kind of a weird thing, but police could pull over go buses if they need to investigate the driver. Northern Liberty Matt dunks on you all the time and you tried to follow him. Who's Northern Liberty Matt? Don't know who that is. Mpeng. You get can this driver get 77? That'd be funny. No, buses don't require seatbelts. Okay. What is this? Most randomish. Why are you such an authoritarian? You believe in public safety over freedom. This is from Most Randomish. I believe that rules and laws were put in place for safety, and you need to follow the rules because it's a condition of being part of society. So that's going on. Okay. Do you think public safety outweighs freedom? Yeah, so do the courts. It depends on what freedom we're talking about. When we're talking about road safety, yeah, your freedom to be an ass doesn't allow you to put other people in harm's way, even yourself. Let's see here. Christian says, what is the regulation on mobility scooters? Well, first of all, they have to be mobility scooters and not just a go-kart or a small car that's labeled mobility scooter to circumvent laws. So it depends on what we're talking about. mobility scooters, truly mobility scooters, the little things that with tiny wheels that you drive through Walmart on to get Walmart in to get your groceries. And that's it. Aki, or I think it's Aki, Kirok, I don't know how to pronounce your name, I'm guessing, says only the driver, and that's in relation, I think, to the bus. The bus driver has to wear the seatbelt. The passengers don't. Although they talked about making rules, like there's buses being installed with seatbelts now, but buses, generally speaking, do not require seatbelts. And if it was a situation where everyone was required to have a seatbelt, let's say that we'll just pretend alternate universe, they all need a seatbelt. Any person on the bus that wasn't wearing it could be charged if they're over the age of 16 or 16 and over. But that, again, not the current situation in the world. In Ontario, seatbelts aren't required. Good to have, but not required. Barely Trying says, what do you do if you're in a collision, but the other party will not surrender their information? Call the police and take pictures to identify them if they flee. Take pictures with your phone, the vehicle, the driver. I take that even if they do comply, because they may not be the people that they say they are. It's a thing. People often lie. It's crazy, but true. Okay, 1 second here. Standing by. Oh, we have some dad jokes. If you got dad jokes, if you have dad jokes and you want what do we have here? If you have dad jokes, but you want to, that you want to share so we can talk about them, share them. Oh, there's a dad joke. I'm going to put, it's Melody's dad joke. Copy and paste in that into the stream. MPEG, MPEG it says new law came out. All new buses need to have seatbelts. They may need to have them installed, but do they have to be worn is a question. And where is that? Is it new Ontario law? I'm not a bus law guy. Let's see here. Ontario law, seatbelts. Let's see if we can find anything. We are looking. Penalties for non-compliance, child booster rules. Ontario HTA. This is me Googling and looking things up. Exemption for buses and taxis. Okay. Ontario seatbelt law currently includes specific exemptions for buses and taxis under the HTA regulations. Buses, including school buses and large commercial buses over 36 kilos, are exempt from the legal requirement to be fitted with seatbelts. So where's this new law? Federal standards from 2020. Newly built buses must include seatbelts, but the driver is still not legally obligated to ensure passengers are belted. I got to do some reading, see what there is to see. That's a 2020 law, so not that new. Unless it's a new law. New laws are always interesting. Oh, did you see the video of Edmonton police pulling a Sea-Doo trailer and it popped off the hitch? I did. I shook my head. I even recorded it because I wanted to share it with a few people. This is why you check your stuff, and then you check it again. You make sure it's done properly. It could have been a mechanical failure. However, bad day at the office when you get caught on camera, isn't it? Could you imagine what it would have looked like when you got out of your truck at the police station and said, oh, Anyway, user 416 says, I got pulled over by your friend Papadopoulos. Cool guy, but got a few tickets. He has pens for a reason. He writes. He is a good guy. And what did you get tickets for? Always interested to know what people did. Stephen Johnson wants to know if what my thoughts are if the officer should be subject to a charge. If the officer was pulled over and charged, would they charge themselves? No. If nothing happened, do they charge? How do you deal with it? Here's the situation: if you're driving down the road and you are a personal vehicle towing that, and you become aware of it, you fix it. If it happened where it caused a collision and someone got hurt, now other people are involved. It's very much the same thing. If somebody else put a complaint in, then there'd be a complaints process potentially, but it could be mechanical failure. I doubt that the officer, was just I don't care. I'm going to do it illegally, and also that's why they have chains, and that's why they didn't lose their load. So I don't think there's any charges, especially if there was mechanical failure. Joe Nut Gaming, Joe Nut, I think so. Question: what if U-Haul rents to me and I'm 17, but they approved, but the requirement is 18? That's a policy. If they rent to you because they rent to you, that's entirely up to them. It's not a enforceable law outside of thing. However, if their insurance policy doesn't cover somebody under 18, that could be an issue. Runner says, "Hello, Sean. Would it be prudent for traffic officers to give out tickets to have electric bikes? Officers, traffic officers with electric bikes? No, police don't need electric anything. They accept the computers to print tickets. They're not reliable. Well, first of all, traffic officers don't ride bicycles. Any police officer can write a ticket, but they're not traffic officers if they're riding bicycles. We have vehicles carrying lots of equipment. If you had an officer who is, if you have officers who are doing enforcement, but they're neighborhood officers and they're riding a bicycle, we don't need the extra issue of having e-bikes in the cadre. I don't think it's going to happen. Maybe one day. Let's see here. What do we got here? Oh, Jonah says, would I get in trouble if they rented it to me? It's up to them to rent or not rent, but you could be screwed for insurance. So if they clearly say you have to be 18 and their insurance policy won't cover you, you might be in jeopardy, but someone could get in trouble, but not you, other than the potential issue with insurance. And that's just me speculating. Okay. Ninrugo? Ninrug Zero. Are you an American officer or Canadian, sir? I'm Canadian. Canadian officer. Oh, first of all, I'm not an officer at all anymore. I'm a retired, former, not anymore officer. I just happen to know stuff and things about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff because I'm a former police officer who talks about it all the time, trying to answer your questions and keep you safe. Wayne Breckenridge says, is a full M license still a beginner for a G license? If you have a full M license, you have the benefits of a G1, which means that you can be supervised by a G class driver with 4 years experience if you have a full M. So yes, that's true. It's a little known fact. Chaotic says, let's go. It's the former Grinch. Great to see you. Hope retirement is doing you well. Thanks very much. It's you changed the name. Why'd you change the name? But good to see you. Yeah, here's Scott D's dad joke. We'll put it here. Can normal traffic give out tickets for exhausts, etc., or does it have to be MTO? That's an Emily question. Police officers can give tickets out to anything under the HTA. So normal traffic cops, normal cops, not traffic cops, everyone can give out tickets, exhausts, etc. They make an allegation by writing the ticket. It does not require an MTO inspection. Chaotix says, electric bikes and scooters drive me crazy. So many kids on them without helmets. Not just the fact that you say kids, you have to be 16 years old. So A, they're underage operating them. B, they're underage operating them without helmets. Yeah, we need more cops. We need more enforcement done because Chaotix wants to know who's supposed to enforce the scooter e-bike laws within towns? The police. Wayne, you're welcome. It's the okay. It's his business account. Got it. It's Baby Charles says, what's the worst thing you saw on the road? Lots of stuff. Over my time as a member of the police, saw lots of death and destruction. So lots of bad stuff. Emily says, oh, okay, I was told it's only MTO. Nope, someone was trying to steer you wrong. Could be any police officer. All right. Let's see here. What is CWD? The Real Walker Texas Ranger says, is it true that there's another season of CWD in process? Oh, Canada's Worst Driver. I don't know. And if it is, it's not involving me, which is a shame because I'd be the best host, the host with the most. I don't know. It would be a good thing for me. They should reach out. Emily says, do you have to go to college before, or do you have to go to college to before a cop? You can be grade 12 education to apply for the police, although it's better to have college. Then you go to the police college. Somber Six Shadow says, if the witness and cop don't show up to my trial, can I get all my tickets dropped? Potentially. Generally speaking, if you don't have anybody to provide evidence, it generally is dismissed. Depends on the charge. If it's minor traffic, probably. All right. We are up to date. We are done. We are over. We are finished. And I will go through some dad jokes now, but then we're going to wrap up the show. We're 10 minutes after. 10 minutes longer than I was going to go. Okay. Let's flag this one. All right. Scrolling. Here we go. Dad joke. Why aren't many boys born on federal holidays? Because there's no mail delivery. I like that one. I do. That's a good one. Akela Draconis provided that one. Okay. I accidentally sent my ex-boyfriend flowers over the internet. I accidentally sent my ex-boyfriend flowers over the internet. Whoopsie daisies. It was awkward reading the joke, but it was still funny. Okay, this is PSA from Akela Draconis. Train horns are loud in Union Station. Don't cross the tracks between platforms or we'll all go deaf. Yes, it's they are loud. I recently I rode the Go. I haven't been on a Go train in many moons. However, I did use the Go train service to go to the Honda Indy, and it made my life a whole lot better. And did you know that kids ride free under a certain age? I now do. It saved me a lot of cash and time, which is awesome. Here's a joke from Melody, the mechanic. A man walks into a zoo. The only animal there is a dog. It's a Shih Tzu. I liked it. I've heard it, but I liked it. There's got to be a better way. A man walks into a zoo. The only animal there is a dog. It's a Shih Tzu. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. It's a Shih Tzu. Dad joke. How did Noah see the animals in his ark at night? Flood lighting. I mean, I get it, but I don't get it. Akela has to go. He's got paperwork to sign. He says, stay safe and remember, don't have a good day, have a great day. I agree with that message. I don't see who actually sent this one. Let's see. And one thing before we do after we do dad jokes, is I want to see what's posted with employment. Host says, no, host. It's not host. I cut and pasted. It's a joke. I gave my handyman a to-do list, but he only did jobs 1, 3, and 5. Turns out he only does odd jobs. It's good. I like it. Star Wars Cop. Okay. Oh, cool. Apparently, Star Wars Cop and Akela have been talking lightsabers recently. What do we got here? Okay. First things first, I want to talk about the. I was going to shoot. By the way, I was going to show a video. It's going to be on Tuesday now instead of today because I just didn't edit it yet. But I got a guy riding a gas-powered mini bike on the sidewalk at 70 kilometers an hour. I paced him. Then he crossed onto the road, whizzed through traffic, and then was just being a bone. Anyway, this guy needs to go to jail. So I'll be forwarding this video to the York Regional Police because I was in York at the time. And but I'll post it to all y'all because you got to see what stupid jackasses do on the road when no one's watching except me. Okay. Emily says, have a wonderful day. Thank you so much. Somber Shadow, thanks for the follow. Okay, before I get distracted, I will come back and look at the couple extra questions that popped in because I can. but I want to jump in and share this first. Let's have a look at the employment page. Careers. If you are looking to become a police officer, member of a police service, check out the websites. They post stuff all the time. Information at tps.ca/careers is where you go and look for Toronto Police specific stuff. And I'm biased. I like Toronto Police. I used to work there. So I share it. Now, Police Constable has its own tab, and all the information that you'd want to know about becoming a police officer is going to be found on that tab. Makes sense. Special Constable is how I started. I was a court officer when I started, at least my paid service. My auxiliary service was as a volunteer, and I absolutely recommend the auxiliary program of your local police service to get a taste of policing. And if you never want to become a cop but want to continue as an auxiliary for 30 years, do what my buddy did. He did that. He was his hobby, his fun time. He had a great time. But there are civilian roles, and this is what I like looking up. There are lots of ways you can contribute to, making your city better, and it doesn't involve putting on a uniform. So you can be in. These are postings that come and go. So if you know somebody who fits them, tell them right away because they won't be up for long. We have the Toronto Police Service Board looking for an analyst in strategy and governance, finance project specialist, payroll analyst, payroll coordinator, and communications operator. Now, these are all obvious. Communications operator are the magical people who answer the call. They literally answer the phone on one half of the team, and then the other half of the team is dispatch, and they send a police officer to come help you. They are the people who answer the call so the police officers can do it. Without them, there'd be nobody coming to help you. So if you know someone who can be a superhero on the phone, they do great work, and we need them. So you should apply. They should apply. Somebody should apply. We need more people. Okay. I said I would do the other questions. I will quickly have a quick look. Consiglio Supremo says, "Hi boss, what's the fine for driving with expired plates, and are there demerit points?" $110, no points. Giles White says, "Why are motorcycles allowed to pass a left turning car on the right shoulder on a double yellow line?" Motorcycles passing a left turning car on the right shoulder on a double yellow line, cars are allowed to do that too, assuming it's a paved shoulder. So if a vehicle on a 2-lane road is slowing to make a left turn and there is a paved shoulder and it is safe to do so, motor vehicles, not only motorcycles, can pass on the right shoulder. If it is a gravel road, you cannot do that. Or gravel shoulder, you cannot do that. But that's perfectly legal, not just motorcycles. Dylan says, "How do I report a cop that used his emergency flashers to cross a red light and pull into a Tim Hortons?" You can certainly report them, but it's not illegal. They're perfectly legal to cross a signalized intersection on a red by using their emergency services lights to cross that. It's the only time they have to turn their lights and sirens on. They have to come to a complete stop, wait until it's clear and safe, and then proceed through. You don't know what they did afterwards. Now, you say they went to the Tim Hortons, which everyone claims, but I don't believe it. It's possible they were called to an emergency, and when they crossed the intersection, the call was canceled, and they said, "Oh, wait, look, there's a Tim here." That would be perfectly legitimate. If it's a legitimate problem that they're just they have to get a coffee, which get paid by the hour. No one's doing what you suggested just to get a coffee. If they are, they're idiots. Anyway, you can make a report by going to LECA, the Law Enforcement Complaint Agency. You can also go to their supervisor or the sergeant on duty and say, "This is what I saw," and they'll investigate it. And if it's appropriate to charge them or write them up, they will. But it's unlikely that the scenario you described is exactly what happened. I'm sure that's what you saw, but I'm not. I don't believe that they did that with the intention to get a coffee 8 seconds sooner, because that would be ridiculous. But not illegal, just an abuse of the equipment they have and their authority. What do we got here? Alexander says, "Would you recommend Holland College for municipal police, or is it a formality? I hear it is in-house." Oh, in-house training. I don't know anything about Holland College. I've never heard of them. I don't know where they are. I can tell you that when you're hired in the province of Ontario to become a police officer, you're sent to the provincial college, OPC, Ontario Police College. And all police officers in the province have to go there. It's standardized training. Getting training from a local college about things before you get trained by proper police. Now, is Holland College in the U.S.? Because in the States, like my cousin, who's I think he's now a captain, he went to a police college and then went to apply for jobs. Here, you cannot attend the police college unless you've been hired and you're put there or sent there by your police service. So different order of operations in the States. Tell me more. And Alexander, if you've got questions, DM me. I'm happy to chat with you. Lost Botanist wanted to know what my daily ticket record was. How many? I thought you asked me that last night. I don't know. I wrote as many as I could because I was looking up, and if I saw people, I would pull them over. I never ignored stuff. Alexander says, I'm looking at the St. John Police in New Brunswick, and they appear to do in-house training. So in other provinces, they may have different situations. And if you're going to St. John and they have in-house training, then I would, unless you can't get in or you don't qualify, I wouldn't go somewhere else first. But I'm not familiar with different provincial requirements for policing. Dylan says he sees it all the time that police use their lights and sirens to get through an intersection to get coffee. Really? Make a complaint if they're totally all abusing it. I just find it very, well, I've never done it. I've never seen anybody else do it. I have had situations where people are going hot to a call and the call gets canceled and they go through that intersection, they get canceled, they go into Tim Hortons. I've seen that. Never seen someone go through lights and sirens to just avoid it. But it's not a law that prevents them from doing it. They're lawfully permitted to. It's just stupid to do that and put themselves at risk and make people hate them just to get a coffee. So yeah. Can a cop tow a car for no muffler? No, we wouldn't tow for no muffler, but we would charge for no muffler. What's this? I love it when people try and be offended. And let's see here. I love it when we get to acknowledge stupid people. Sorry, hang on 1 second. I think what we'll do is label that under hate. And then we'll do another one for harassment. They have buttons for it, so it feels like I have to make the report. And then we'll say goodbye to them. Okay. Lost Botanist says, I'm 38. Is it too late to try for a cop job? Nope. Oldest person in my class was 50 or 51. Can a commercial vehicle, but it's not a transport truck or box truck, go down a no truck route? Well, if it's not a truck, then why would it be prohibited from a no truck route? Also, if that, generally speaking, when it says no trucks on the street, if that truck has specific business on that street, they can go down that road. Like if they're dropping something off, like they're not going to walk the skid to the customer's door. It's only, to use it as a through road. Alexander Anthony says garbage trucks can. That's about it. But a truck route, when you say it's not a commercial, at least in North New Brunswick, the commercial vehicles, like we're talking about a pickup truck that says on a no truck route, like a truck, they're talking about box trucks and articulated vehicles. It's a weight thing usually. Anyway, I got to go. I went longer than I thought, but I'll be back Tuesday night at 9 p.m. to do an After Dark episode. I hope you all have a great week. Stay safe, drive sober, park legally. Don't speed. Speeding bad. I know people say, well, come on. I'm like, yeah, the guy says don't speed. I want you to be safe. And safety starts with following the law. Anyway, have a great day. Have a great week. And we'll see you soon. All the best.